Explain the triumphant entry of Jesus to Jerusalem.
Okay. So can we read about the triumphant entry before I even outline how you are supposed to put forth the points? Can we read the triumphant entry into Jerusalem?
John chapter 19, verse 23. And when he had said this, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. When he drew near to Bethphage and Bethany, at the mount that is called Olivet, he sent two of his disciples, saying, Go into the village opposite, where on entering you will find a colt tied, and on which no one has ever yet sat. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, Why are you untying it? You shall say this, The Lord has need of it. So those who were sent went away and found it as he had told them. And as they were untying the colt, its owner said to them, Why are you untying the colt? And they said, The Lord has need of it. And they brought it to Jesus, and drawing their garments from the colt, they set Jesus upon him. And as he rode along, they spread their garments on the road. As he was now drawing near at the descent of the Mount Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, saying, Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees in the multitude said to him, Teacher, rebuke your disciples. He answered them, I tell you, if this were silent, the very stone would cry out. And when he drew near and saw the city, he wept over it, saying, Would that even today you knew the things that make for peace. But now they are hid from your eyes. For the day shall come upon you, when your enemies will cast up a bank about you and surround you, and hem you in on every side, and dash you to the ground, you and your children within you, and they will not leave one stone upon another in you, because you did not know the time of your visitation.
Okay, so about the triumphant entry, where I saw the issues when you're writing your answer, there's someone who told me a small donkey. Yes, someone told me a small donkey, and then there was someone who was telling me a little donkey, a little. I think you know, I knew you had the content, but what it tells me is that you had not revised. Yes, because you could remember the word. The Bible has used the word what? A colt. Yes, there's someone else who was telling me a court. I've remembered. So I was just, what am I supposed to do at that time? You know, I don't know about the marking of C.R.E. and you know, you should be able to, at this level, I'm not supposed to mark it correct so that you improve, so that you read, so that when it comes to kcse, in case you ask this question, you are able to refer as it is in the Bible. So read the Bible to get the point. So Jesus sent two of his disciples. Just saying that he sent two of his disciples, you got a point. So I was giving you 1 mark. So that was 1 mark. They were to go into the village where on entering they would find a colt tied. They were to go into the village where on entering they would find a colt tied on which no one had sat. So the instructions, when you gave the instructions, you wrote about the instructions that they were go to the village and find the colt. I give you another point, 1 mark. They were to bring it back to Jesus. That is another mark. And if anyone asked them why they were untying it, they were to answer, the Lord has a need of it. The Lord has a need of it. They went and found it as he had told them. Went and found it as he had told them. As they were untying it, the owner asked why they were untying it. Or you can say, as they untied it, the owner asked why they were untying it, and they answered, the Lord has need of it. They brought it to Jesus and laid garments on it and set Jesus on it. So they brought the colt to Jesus and laid garments on it and set Jesus on it. As Jesus rode along, they spread their garments on the road. As Jesus rode along, they spread their garments on the road. And then you say that as they approached Mount of Olives, that is where you are getting the next point now. As they approached Mount of Olives, the whole crowd began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice, saying, so as they approached Mount of Olives, a whole crowd began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice, saying, blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory to the highest. If you only said, as they approached Mount of Olives, the crowd began to rejoice and praise God, that was what? A point. You don't even need to remember, blessed is the King who comes in the name of the what? Of the Lord. Some Pharisees in the multitude asked Jesus to rebuke the disciples for rejoicing. Remember here, it's only the Pharisees. So some of the Pharisees in the multitude asked Jesus to rebuke the disciples for rejoicing. Jesus answered, I tell you, if these were silent, the very stones would cry. Most of the people remember this last point, and they put in different, I guess I gave you that mark. Jesus answered, I tell you, if this was silent, the very stones would cry out. What you would remember in this question is that when it comes to the kcse, you know, the events have to follow each other the way they are, the activities. They have to follow each other the way they are in the Bible. So that's why you have to keep on reading the Bible so that you can remember the way the points what. They go after one after the other. And this is very easy for the triumphant entry to Jerusalem.